So here's my first attempt to measure fuel consumption and exhaust pressure on an outboard engine. You'll see here the fuel line going out to the engine back there. But this fuel line has a T and a shutoff. The line goes back up to the fuel tank right here, and you can see the T is actually full of gasoline up to here, which is about the level of the gasoline in the tank, about a third full. I've got a little zip tie to measure the starting point, a little zip tie to measure the ending point. And of course this tube is open and vented to the atmosphere at the top. So what's going to happen once I start the engine, I shut off that valve, and that's going to shut off the fuel from the tank. And now all the fuel to run the engine is going to have to run down this small tube. So I can actually look at fuel consumption, inches per second or minute. And then later I can, if I chose to, I can measure the amount of fuel that's in a foot of this tubing. But the idea here is relative fuel consumption with different propellers. Okay. Next is a little manometer arrangement. Here, this tube is also vented to the atmosphere, but the other end of this tube, and you can see I have some green colored fluid in here, just some fresh water with green food dye in it. That tube runs all the way back to the engine, and you can see in the back of the outboard, that tube runs down and is ported into the exhaust manifold of the engine. And you might ask what that drain tube is there for. Well, the exhaust does spit some water, and I didn't want water to interfere with the pressure measurement. So you can see there's some green colored food dye and water down there. I want to make sure that there's no water up here above the port in my manometer. Okay, so let's see what happens when the engine starts.